My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. So we are the political orphans. Today on the show, we're going to be speaking about the BC Kelowna airport that was hacked yesterday. Turns out there wasn't just one, but three of them. We're going to talk about the Canadian refugee who accidentally ended up in the US and the new Immigration Canada post that is pissing off conservatives. Get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on, man?
No. What's happening?
Now.
What was that bit about pissing off conservatives? I didn't recall that story.
It's because you don't know about it. Because you're not a conservative, so you're not aware of this shit.
Yes, that's right.
This is something we keep to ourselves. You know what? Let's start right there. Let me bring it up. It wasn't. I saw that this morning, and I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
No problems there, right? So,
Yep.
This is the article. Like I do every day. I'm just looking and pow,
Scanning
I see this.
Scanning the
internets.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
And I see this from the Epoch Times saying Tories criticize federal posts enticing prospective immigrants with public health care. I'm like, yeah, of course they did. And here is the post. Hold on. It popped up a different window, so let me bring it up here. And this is the post that it connects to from Immigration Canada saying, thinking about moving to Canada, question mark. Did you know Canada has public health care, question mark.
Jesus.
Learn how it works. You can get it and what services are covered. Get the details and helpful tips right here. I got some helpful tips right there.
Yeah. Did you know Canada has public health care? And it's already been paid for by all the locals. You don't have to pay a thing. You just show up and they've been paying into their whole lives, those suckers. But you get to just show up and access it right away. You don't even have to be a citizen. Just claim asylum.
Ding, 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 ding. Exactly.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
I'm just seeing this. I'm like, you sons of bitches. Are you like not even trying to hide it? At least they're honest, I guess.
Well, they're basically.
But this is exactly what I'm thinking about. So basically what I'm hearing is that Canadians are responsible for taking care of people from third world countries on our dime when we're paying 42 to 43% of taxes on our income. Altogether, almost half of our salaries is gone through taxes, and you got a bunch of fucking bureaucrat, blue-haired bitches working for Immigration Canada saying to immigrants, you know what? Come to Canada. Did you know that we have free healthcare that you never contributed for, and we'll fix you? And do you remember what Dr. Watley and the other doctor we had at the same time? And they were saying that those people tend to abuse it even more than Canadians because in their head it's free. So they show up, whatever little problem that they have, they're going to show up and just take advantage of the system compared to the average Canadian. It's absolute. So how about no? Those people need to get fired, get replaced. Like, it shows that it's not their fucking money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like that interview you're talking about, the doctor, as he was saying, he made actually some pretty excellent and I think nuanced points there. Was that in India, and he was talking about India because most of our immigrants are Indian. Healthcare is a status
30 to 40% of them.
Yeah, exactly right. Healthcare is a status symbol. So just if you know anything about human nature, right? Like, it'd be like if you went to a country where they gave out free Lamborghinis, right? Lamborghinis are a status symbol over here. If you went there, like, you'd be like, oh yeah, give me all the Lamborghinis, right? So healthcare is a status symbol. And he said he would regularly see Indians showing up. Remember, he said they would show up with a list that they would get from their doctors back in India of things to ask for, drugs to ask for, treatments to ask for, because why not? It's free. And of course, it's just they have no concept of it's not actually free. We're paying for it.
For them, it is.
Yeah. It's
for them. It's
wild,
100% free. They didn't pay for it. It's fucking free.
And it, like you said, man, like, someone needs to be fired over this. This is not the way to market for first of all, we don't need to market for people, for immigrants to come here. That's one of the things about Canada is everybody wants to fucking come here. We don't need to be out there marketing or buying advertising, and we certainly don't need to be marketing like that. Like those are not the immigrants you want coming here. The ones that are going to see that and be like, oh yeah, I definitely want to go there now. Those are not the ones that you want coming here. You want the ones who aren't even thinking about that because they know that they've got, they're enough money to support themselves. And it's just, they may as well be like, all the white women you can grab, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure it's effective in getting people over here, but those are not the people that you want to have over here. It's just, it's utterly ridiculous. And it completely, disrespects the people who are over here paying 40% of their income for these services that we now, as someone in the comments, I think it was Trevor Benson, evening noticers. Yeah, so like if you notice these things, and we notice that our healthcare has gone in the shitter lately. We notice that, it takes a fucking, neither of us have doctors. I haven't been at a doctor's appointment in 10 years.
I just got my knees messed up. My left knee's busted. I got cartilage problem. It ended up being cracked. So I need to go see an orthopedist. But in order to get an MRI, I had to go to the private. So thank God my wife has insurances through her work. So I was able to go. But you're talking about $700, $800, $900 for an MRI. That will take 6 months to a year, maybe more, in order to get it through Canada. So we had to go to the public sector. I contact... After the doctor sees it, she's like, yeah, you're going to have to go see an orthopedist. I've had some scraping done before where they just go in, they remove the extra. So I've had that twice on ankles and knees, but she's like, okay, you can go see that doctor. I'm like, okay, cool. I call the doctor. Oh, I have to send an email. Okay, cool. I send an email. What's their first question? Are you going private? That's their first question. I'm asking, here's the MRI. As per their voice message, it's, we need your MRI, the information, blah, blah. I attach all of that in the email. But what's the first thing that they ask me? Are you going private? They didn't ask me anything else. Are you going private? I'm like, no, I wanted to go to the public. She's like, oh, okay, so you're going to have to fill this out. But here's something I did. I've spoken about this on the show a few times. I did that for Instagram, but those are just numbers. And this is when I actually found Dr. Watley. Because he participated in those numbers. And it turns out that yearly between 8 to 15,000 Canadians die in the emergency room, literally waiting for service. It's estimated that in 2023, 2024, 15,474 Canadians died while waiting for surgeries or scan, but it seems that the true number is closer to 28,000.
Yep.
Over 70,000 Canadian patients have died on a waiting list since 2018, 2019. It takes an average of 30 weeks to see a specialist after seeing a general practitioner. So this is what I'm looking at right now. Up 322% over the past 30 years. Yet, in 2025, it's estimated that our free healthcare system will cost us $381 billion, or about $9,500 per Canadian. Not per working Canadian, per Canadian. So basically, 30% of our income tax is spent on the healthcare, yet thousands of people die in ERs or on waiting lists, and guys like you and I don't even have a family doctor. And that's what they have the audacity to sell to immigrants, to say, come to Canada when the system's already broken. No,
it's not yours to sell.
And this is not a mistake. This is not a typo. This is not an intern that did this. This is how they sell Canada to foreigners, because all we need is more fucking foreigners. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but I'm really, really getting fucking irritated with this shit. And especially, again, I'm a numbers guys, right? So I dig through the data, and it's the third time I speak about this week, and I'm going to talk about it again. But do you remember the numbers I shared about what's happening to Canada? Because remember the birth rate is it's down to 1.2.
Mhm.
1.2 is the average amount of kids that our women are now having in Canada. And this led me to start doing some research because I'm like 1.2, damn, that's not a lot. And here's another post I did for Instagram. In 2015, Canada's population was 35.85 million people. Today it's 41.7. That's a 16% increase in 10 years. The problem is that all that growth came from direct immigration and birth to immigrant parents. The Canadian born birth to non-immigrant parents, people that were actually born in Canada, shrank by 1.5%. So it's 101.5% of, no, actually it was 1.3 because that brings it to zero. So 103% of the growth in Canada that we've seen over the past 10 years, immigrants.
Yeah.
32% right now as we speak, 32% of Canadians, 32% of people living in Canada weren't born here, or 13.2 million. If this trend continues, by 2037, 50% of people living in Canada will not have been born here or will come from parents that were immigrants. So you're not crazy. If you're looking around you and you're like, I don't recognize Canada, you're not fucking crazy. Because soon enough, white people will be a minority in Canada. And that's a fucking fact.
Yeah. I mean, there's two sort of angles here on the immigration thing. There's just the sheer number of bodies that are coming in, but then there's also the quality of people that we're bringing in, and those are two different issues. And right now we're losing on both of them, frankly. If you had brought in that same number of people, but they were like high skilled, highly educated people that shared our values, and then it might not be as big of an issue. But we're literally marketing free shit to the third world. And what kind of a quality immigrant do you think that's going to get you? It's not going to get you the kind that are contributing, right? Frankly, you should have to be here for 3, 4, 5 years or something before you even get any of this, before you get any of that. It's crazy. I just want to Lake Time says, Rob, how can you support this corruption?
Before you take comments, remember what we were talking about yesterday. Another immigrant coming from Jamaica that trafficked drugs, that's getting a slap on the wrist. His sentence is being cut in half so that it doesn't damage his immigration.
That's crazy.
His immigration paperwork. Same thing for that Indian man that tried to sleep with a 15-year-old. Turned out that it was a cop. Oh, but you know what? We're going to give you we're just going to let you walk because we don't want you. We wouldn't want your immigration to be affected. And it's time and time again that peeping Tom that spied on the women he lived with when he was an international student. All those people
give them less a sentence so we don't affect their immigration.
Take advantage of. And you look, we have a story today. I don't know if you heard about this, but the refugee, the Canadian refugee that shouldn't even be here in the first place, that crossed to the U.S. accidentally, that got arrested by ICE, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to do that." Hey, fuck off! Like, we're gonna talk about it because that's one of the main stories.
Accidentally crossed in the United States. That's like the cheating wife who's like, "Oh no, I slipped and accidentally fell on his dick."
Talk to any emergency doctor, they're gonna tell you they always get dudes insert something in their assholes and they get stuck.
And it's always I fell on my gerbil and he went in my ass. Lake Time says, Rob, how can you support all the corruption? You're gonna have to explain what you mean there. What exactly do I support?
I'll say hi to Lake Time because I believe
I think it's his first time.
He's a crosser.
He's from Jason.
He's a crosser from Jason. So what's going on, Lake Time? What is going on? You can call me Rico. You can call me asshole. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. You're not going to hurt my feelings, bro.
Yes. Chris H says, I think we got to start demanding that government invest in the healthcare system, build more hospitals, and do something to keep more doctors in Canada. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Those are all good points. But those are also, separate from the main issue is there has to be some amount of, you can't just be giving away free healthcare to non-citizens while the citizens are over here paying for it. And Chris has another good comment here. He says, we have to demand that the government stop investing in war with Russia and invest back into the country. Yeah, absolutely. That's another great point. I think, these are some, these
What
are kind
the
of
numbers I shared yesterday? Do you remember the numbers? Up to now,
they all,
since
like 70 billion or something.
in the past 10 years,
Yep.
the Tories are talking about, oh, we need to go after the DEI policies that they have and all the money that it costs us. Okay, $1 billion over the past 10 years. Over that same period, our government has sent more than $70 billion in foreign aid. 22 to 24 billion of those were to Ukraine. Can you imagine? What did I say? That it costs us about $3 billion ish a year for our healthcare system. That's what it costs us right now. $70 billion. You're talking right now, more than 20 years. Right there. 20 years worth. And what did I say? 30% of income tax is spent on healthcare, and 42% of Canadians pay 42% of their income the fucking taxes on average. So to talk about, you could have changed. You could literally close the border tomorrow and say, immigrants are no longer allowed to use our healthcare. It takes 10 years. You want to come to Canada? No problem. You need to have the funds and insurance to prove to us that we will not have to pay for it. For 10 years, we could have taken that $70 billion, invested half, and spent another 10 years.
Think of how much that would have changed our healthcare system. But yeah, I mean,
it would
that's
be completely different. How many people would still be using MAID? Because that's another thing people don't want to admit. It takes less time at the moment to take MAID. Remember, we talk about this shit all the time. It takes 3 months to get approved for MAID, 3 to 6 months to see a psychologist that is given to you by the healthcare system. It could take twice as long, if not more, to see a psychologist than it does to get somebody to say, yep, you can commit suicide, bro, no problem.
Well, yeah. And I mean, a lot of these things are sort of, on the surface, the issue with like the healthcare system is unrelated to, the war in Ukraine or our foreign aid, but they're not really. Like, they're all like, every dollar we send overseas is a dollar that we could be investing back into Canada and in our healthcare system. That would make an enormous difference with regards to, wait times and just the quality of the service. At the end of the day, we've talked about this before. Yes, we are heavily taxed here in Canada. I think me and you might have some slightly different opinions on taxation. For me, I'm not necessarily opposed to it as long as you feel like you're getting some value for your taxes, right? If you feel like, yes, we have a world-class health system. Yes, we have the potholes are being fixed. Yes, we have a world-class education system. I probably wouldn't complain about the tax rate so much, but we're not getting that, right? This is, the social contracts has been broken. And it is, it's a shame to see. I don't know what the fix is. Well, I mean, I do know what the fix is. It just requires, it's not even rocket science. It just requires someone with the political will to actually do it.
People were complaining because you see those posts all the time. Oh, Canada's so much better than the US because of this. And one of them is always free healthcare. And I'm like, okay, cool. The number shows us that it's about 10 grand that it costs per Canadian. So you're talking $40,000 a year that the system costs a family of 4. $40,000. And people are telling me, oh yeah, but in the US it's like 12,000 ish, between $12,000 and $15,000 that it costs for the insurance for the average American. And I'm like, have you ever tried to go to the US? It is a joke, bro. My friend's wife broke her arm. She broke her arm. We're at the hospital. Within an hour or two, the cast was on, x-ray was done. We knew what the problem is. She was leaving. Like, it's a joke. Here, you might want to ask for MAID. Like, no, but we laugh about this, but okay, one costs us about $10,000 per person. The other one's about $12,000 ish per person. Which one would you rather have? 10,000 and you wait 6 months to 18 months to see a specialist? Or do you want to pay 2-3 grand more and actually be able to see somebody on the spot? It's absolutely insane. Like, to me, it's a no fucking brainer. This shit needs to be privatized, and it needs to be, the government doesn't manage anything properly. VRL, they have no competition. It's a crown corporation. They can't even turn a profit. They can't even finish flush. And you know that a private company would get invested in that. It would cost less and they would make fucking money.
Well, yeah, because they have to. The whole Crown Corporation model is broken. It loses any sort of discipline of the market. You don't need to worry about, you don't need to make any tough decisions or say no to anything, because you know that Big Brother will always back you up. As Lake Time says, hit that thumbs up button, folks. Remember to like and share the stream. And also Lake Time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
take the time to sell it, guys. If you're on X, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to restream this stream. But the conversation really happens on YouTube. So if you're on Instagram, same thing. Like it, comment. Right. But join us on YouTube at the Pulley Orphans. And once you're there, like, subscribe, click that little bell so that you get every single 20 posts I post every day. It's not true. It's not 20. It was like 3 or 4. But you get an alarm on every time we go live. And if you believe in what we're doing, if you believe in, I really don't like to be called independent media, but technically I'm accredited independent journalist now. Such a weird term. But if you believe in what we're doing, consider becoming a member. $2.99 a month on the YouTube channel, or you can just give us the tip. We do like just the tip.
Yep.
You can buy us a coffee if you don't want to give money to YouTube, and the QR code should be, I think, top right there.
Top right.
Because my image is mirrored, so when I do this, it points over there. But
but it is the top. So right,
it's over.
Yeah, so it's one of these. It's in one of the top corners. Speaking of corners, BP's corner. This is interesting. It says they're cutting checks at the welfare office for back pay for these immigrants, $30,000 to $80,000, depending on how many in the family. Now, I mean, we'll definitely have to do some research here on this and look this up. But on surface, it doesn't strike me as it has the ring of truth to me.
They spent more than $1 billion on the hotels.
If it's refugees. True, if it's true, it's wild. And that's another thing too. You know, I saw a post today, and it was like, "Oh, you racist! Immigrants don't get anything. All they have to live on, all they get is like $50 a week. Could you live on that?" It's like, well, yeah, I could if you were paying my housing, my food, my health care. If I had my phone, if I had literally no other bills, and that $50 a week was just pure spending money, yeah, of course I could live on it. I mean, most Canadians probably don't have $200 a month pure spending money, right? After their bills are paid. And the fact of the matter is it doesn't really matter. It's not like the only thing that matters is the money they're given. It's what they cost us. And what they cost us is about $80,000. And I'm talking about asylum seekers here, but I would assume that, there's 300,000 of them. So, I mean, that, multiply 300,000 by 80,000 a year, you get a pretty big number.
Yeah, no shit, you do. By my calculation, I'm looking for my post where I talk about this, but by my calculation, depending on where you live, if you're more remote area compared to living in Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver, the average Canadian spends something like 91% to 103% of their income on tax, shelter, food, clothes, internet, cell phone, and one kid in school. And I'm not talking college, university. I'm talking primary school or secondary school. So you literally, the average Canadian spend 91% to 103% of their salaries on what we would consider necessities now. And don't give me this shit that the fact that we have open border policies have nothing to do with this.
No.
Again,
these are policies.
That post from
these are decisions.
Man, I wanted to show this video for this post for 5 minutes. We're fucking 22 minutes in and still talking about the same thing. But it's just to show that, again, like Dr. Watley said, you cannot have open border policies and a welfare state at the same time. You can have either. You want to have a welfare state? No problem. Close your borders. You want to have open border policies? No problem. Don't give
everything away.
Services to anybody.
You can't have both. You just can't. Nope. Trevor Benson says they should not get any social money for at least 5 years. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think that's just good policy. That has nothing to do with right, left, whatever. That's just solid policy. How can you justify Because at the end of the day, it has to be your citizens that come first. Period.
Yep, 100%.
Immigration is not a charity. It's not. No one is entitled to come to Canada or America or the UK or anywhere else. It has to be done. The only reason that it should be done is to benefit the country. Because if it doesn't, why would you do it? Now, when done right, it's a benefit for both parties, the newcomers and the host country. But we're not doing it right. We're not bringing in, the kind of high quality immigrants that contribute to the country instead of take from it. And that's not to say all immigrants take. Of course, some come and contribute. But what we're talking about is overall. There is just frankly too many. And asylum claims, that's a whole other issue. There's just no way that there should be 300,000 people waiting for asylum, an asylum hearing. That's going to take them 2 years. And the fact of the matter is, most of them do get denied because they're fundamentally fraudulent claims. Asylum is meant to flee like serious risk of death. Right? It's not because you come from a poor country and you just want to come to a rich country. That's not asylum. But the fact of the matter is, even if they get denied, well, they've been here for 2 years. They've cost us $150,000, $200,000. They've certainly, many of them are allowed to work, so they're certainly working and sending some of that money back home. So even if they get denied, it still costs the country a massive amount. When frankly, we should just have judges that are, or someone who's just able to do some sort of triage and just look at your claim like, nope, that's not going to cut it. Get the fuck out.
You know what? There should be direct countries where you accept asylum. That's
sure.
Yeah. Like, see, again, in 2024, Canada received 173,756 asylum claims.
That's
and
insane.
More than 200. Hold on. More than 250,000 were still pending by the end of last year. The average claim wait time for first-level immigration and refugee board decision is 17 to 24 months, with some cases taking up to 2.5 years. And it's estimated, and because asylum seekers must be physically in Canada or at a Canadian port of entry to apply for refugee protection, Canadians are on the hook to provide for them as they wait judgment. So what? Minimum 17 months to 32 months. It's estimated that, when I say it's estimated, I calculated it, but it's estimated that asylum claims have cost Canadian taxpayers between $6.5 to $7.1 billion last year. Just last year. And I calculated everything that needs all the departments like Immigration Canada in order to deal with that. $6.5 to $7.1 billion that it cost us last year, not 10 years, last year. So imagine if we cut that shit, the asylum seekers, sorry, no, get the fuck out of here. We're not accepting you. We don't even accept you at the airport in your country. No. You say you want to come to Canada? Sorry, no. Do you have paperwork to say that you're supposed to be here? No. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Because if you land in the US, as per the agreement that we have, you're supposed to apply for asylum in the first country that you enter. If you touch the US, if you touch Mexico, this is where you apply. You weren't here first.
Safe country.
Fuck you, get the fuck out of here. You don't deserve to be here. And imagine if we got rid of the fake asylum seeker claims that are costing us $6.5 to $7.1 billion a year. And we would get rid of our foreign aid. That's the same price. That's around $7 billion a year that it cost us. You're talking $14 billion a year that could be saved, that could be applied to Canada. That is literally over four times the price of our healthcare system. Can you imagine being able to tell Canadians, hey guys, we're going to reduce your income tax by 30%. A third of it tomorrow, gone. You can keep it because we have so much money aside that we used to give to other countries. We're going to invest it in you. Nice. But can you imagine? Imagine nice, a third of your salary.
Even if they saved that much money, they're not giving it back. They'll just find something else to. But at least if you're going to spend, at least spend it on something that benefits us, like our healthcare system or something.
And third world countries are not what helps us. We don't need more Jamaicans selling drugs in Canada. We don't need Indians washing their asses in pools or dumping fucking garbage on the side of the street. We don't need immigrants. They're not here to make Canada better, and we need to fucking stop bending over for them. It's not racist to say that I believe that Canada has culture, and I want my son to experience Canada the way I experienced it.
Yeah,
That's what I want. There's nothing. If that's racist, you guys can all fuck off. I'm a racist.
It's like everyone else is allowed to, or everyone else is encouraged to celebrate their culture except for ours. We have to be ashamed of ours. And it's bullshit. People will talk about this like, oh, it's just such a. Even people who agree that the asylum system is a mess. It's like, oh, but it's so complicated. It can't. No, it's not really that complicated. Look, have a team that literally just studies the geopolitics of every single country, and then have a list of countries that, based on what's going on in your country right now, we might consider your asylum claim. And that'd be a small list. Most countries, like right now, there should be no reason why someone shows up, they claim asylum, oh, you're from India? No, denied. Just because there's nothing going on in India right now that would justify an asylum claim. Let's say something changes. Let's say Pakistan invades tomorrow and they start slaughtering Hindus or something. Then maybe you could shift, and yes, some claims we might consider. Because I'm actually not opposed to a legitimate asylum claim the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be if you literally are fleeing, likely death, then you can seek safety somewhere else. The fact of the matter is as far as legitimate asylum claims, if you whittle down like that, all the people on the wait list, you probably have 5,000 people. Just based on what's going on in the world right now, there's not really that many places that justify a legitimate asylum claim.
If it was really about helping asylum seekers or people that are really in need, we will be trying to save the Nigerian Christians that have been slaughtered by the tens of thousands. There's some estimates out there that are anywhere from 60,000 to 130,000 Christians have been slaughtered by Muslims in Nigeria. Really
so Nigeria is in that list of claims that you can definitely, we're going to look at your claims seriously if you're from Nigeria.
But you coming from India, not liking India, and be okay to work at Tim Hortons for $4 an hour, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, bro. I don't care if you're poor.
No, not my problem. Canadians are, again, 1 out of 5 Canadian households right now cannot afford daily necessities like food. I don't give a flying fuck about other countries right now. I really don't. Close those fucking borders. Stop giving money to foreign aid. Stop accepting asylum seekers that are just here to take advantage of our system for 2 years to 2.5 years. Fuck off. Take that money, spend it on Canadians. You could triple, quadruple the price that it costs us right now for healthcare, and stop taxing us and remove 30% of our income. You could literally remove 30% tax on our income right now if you wanted to. They just choose not to. They continue piling on immigrants on top of systems that are already broken. Now, are our system broken because of immigration? No. Are they breaking the camel's back? Fuck yes. And now, how the fuck are we supposed to take care of all those people that never contributed? How's that? No. How does that make fucking sense? It makes no sense. No sense. If you want to see a country crashing, yesterday you said it's like that millionaire that used to be that guy that used to be a millionaire, and he's just like partying his money away. Woo!
Yeah, not even thinking about it. Money will always be there.
And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. But what happens? We're 43% tax is what Canadians pay on income. How much more can you accept? Literally 91% to 103% of the average Canadian salary is spent on regular day-to-day stuff. Nothing fancy here. We're talking about transport, we're talking internet, food, shelter, and then you're gone. Why is it our responsibility to take care of third world countries? You know what? It sucks. I was lucky I was born here. That doesn't mean I need to destroy my country to save yours. Me destroying my country is not going to help.
What have we all been told since we're a kid? Sometimes life isn't fair. Our dads will tell us that, or our mothers. Sometimes, son, life isn't fair. And that's just, it's like so much of the West has just been determined to spend enormous amounts of resources because life's unfair sometimes. But unfortunately, that's just the fucking way it works. As you said, we are all lucky to be born here. But the fact that we're lucky is because we have something special here, and it's worth protecting. And it won't be if we don't take care of it. And everywhere you look, you see our government not taking care of it. Oliver Ruff has a good comment here. He says, and this is actually another angle to expel Khalistanis ASAP. This is another angle because this isn't even about where they're from per se. This is about, like, I don't know if you guys listening are familiar with the Khalistani issue, but it's basically some third world beef. I don't even know the specifics of it, but it's being imported over here. Like, we don't, one of the things we say a lot, like, we're supportive of immigration as long as it's done right, which is, high skilled, high educated, young families. But do not come here if you don't share our values. Don't come here if you want to implement Sharia law, and don't come here if you want to import your 1,500 or 2,000-year-old tribal wars between the Khalistan, the third world version of the Hatfields and the McCoys, right? Like, we don't want it. If you want to leave that shit behind and you can contribute, yeah, I'm all for it. I'll welcome you with open arms if you're going to contribute and you're going to leave that nonsense behind. But if you're going to bring that here, and this is what the Khalistanis are doing, it's worse out in, not now so much my neck of the woods here in the East Coast, but I know out in BC and in Ontario, there's a lot of criminal activity. It's almost basically gang activity, right? But it's all done in the name of these tribal beefs that have been going on for 1,000 years, and we don't want that shit here. Leave that home.
And I want to take this comment. We'll take this and then we'll move along to, maybe we can do 3 stories today. But Lake Time is saying, give it up, Robert. Liberals are done. Corruption isn't acceptable here. My dad always said life isn't fair. I got to tell you, Lake Time, if it's your first time here, you're going to see that you're going to get pushbacks on your comments. At least it always seems like it comes from my side. But say that Lake Time, I'm a conservative. I'm a real conservative, not the big C conservative. I don't represent nor endorse the Conservative Party. I'm a small C conservative, like a real conservative Christian. And I got to tell you, man, as much as, yes, the liberals are done, so are the conservatives in Canada, because the conservative big C in Canada are liberals. You don't hear Pierre Poilievre talk about what I'm talking about. He's never presented any of those numbers. Those numbers don't exist, by the way. I did 10 and 20 hours of research to bring up those numbers that I've been sharing for the past 37 minutes. I don't hear him talk about this. I don't hear him be outraged by this. He talks about the temporary foreign worker visas. I'm like, okay, bro, awesome. That's 10% of the foreign workers that are here in Canada. How about you talk about the international mobility program that has 8 times more than that? How about you talk about the international students that are allowed to have a work visa here to steal directly job from our youth? He doesn't approach those subjects. He never talks real numbers because he's not a fucking conservative. He's a liberal and he says whatever is popular. So the point I'm trying to make, and I'm not trying to rip into you, is that it's not just a liberal problem. It's a Canadian problem, because no matter where you look, it's literally, we have a uniparty in Canada. They're all saying the same thing. The only guy that kind of talked outside of the box is Maxime Bernier. We had him multiple times on the show here. Love him, hate him. You got to say that he is right about a lot of things that he preaches, yet he's considered far right. And I'm like, way more conservative than he is. So at one point, we need to wake up that the problem is across the board. That fake aisle that they have where they WWE argue in front of us for hours every day, it's all fucking bullshit. It's theater. We have one party in Canada. It's called Not Us.
Yeah, and also, Lake Time, I think he's talking here like I'm like a supporter of the Liberal Party. I'm not really sure where you're getting this from.
The fact that it says liberal in your name.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm a classical liberal, but I don't support the. I mean, if you're listening to the things I'm saying, I'm pretty, I'm pretty harshly criticizing the direction of the country. I've got Dassos here saying Rob sounds like a true conservative, and I've got Lake Time saying the liberals are done. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't support the liberals.
At the end of the day, man, you are a big C conservative. You are the equivalent of a big C conservative in Canada. You're not a small C conservative.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I never changed. My values never changed. Just the Overton window has changed around me. I certainly have a lot more common ground with conservatives than with someone who's a traditional or someone who is like, firmly in the left today. But and I think honestly, it's not even more just, it's not, there's certainly a lot of positions that I would that conservatives would disagree with me on, but I think more temperamentally, I definitely identify more with conservatives. Just the ability to have an open mind and engage in debate and discussion. But it's because one of the things that's defining the Liberals right now is this inability to engage in any debate. Right? If you don't agree with them,
not even.
You're not just a. Yeah, you're not just a.
That's how you define a liberal.
Yeah, you're not just wrong. You're evil, right? You're morally wrong. You're racist. You're a Nazi. You're a far right bigot. I get people from the left call me a far right bigot all the time because I don't believe women can have a penis, and I don't believe men can give birth, and that makes me a far right Nazi. So, I mean, it is.
Open your mind. Open your mind,
bigot.
Let's go to the next topic. I'd like to talk about two more. This one and an update on the airports from yesterday, because I was digging into it this morning, and I kind of blew my own mind. I'm like, oh motherfucker! I saw some conspiracy theories going on here. So we'll leave you guys on this at the end of the show. But here is something you're gonna laugh. So, Canadian refugee applicant is in ICE custody, says he crossed the border accidentally. This is the dumbest thing you've ever heard. He basically said that I wanted to spend some time out of my home. Must be nice as an asylum seeker to be able to enjoy going to a cottage or going somewhere else when Canadians can't afford to do it. You're welcome, by the way.
Well, it's the best, when someone gets they claim asylum from India or Afghanistan. As soon as they get it, they fly back home to celebrate. It happens all the time. That should be another rule. If you go home to the country that you're seeking asylum from,
you stay there.
Yeah.
You can never come back. But he basically said, I wanted to spend some time out of my house, and he said he had a place I could stay, speaking about one of his friends, in a phone interview from ICE custody. So ICE is so bad that they're letting you have phone interviews. So I was instructed by my friend on a call, so he was guiding me for everything, like he was looking on a GPS, and he just instructed me to go where to go.
That guy was involved in something criminal.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
Just listen to him. That's basically the equivalent of those aren't my drugs. I was holding those for a friend.
Then I found myself in the U.S. It was not my intention.
That's not how the border works, bro. You have to cross it.
So basically, they're saying that chances are, because of ICE has recognized Shahriyar could face harm if he's deported to Bangladesh.
Okay, let's unpack that though. Why? Why would he face harm if deported for Bangladesh?
But let's just so right now, ICE said they tried to send me back to Canada, but Canada denied my entry after they didn't tell me anything. Yeah, fuck you. Of course they did tell you something. And here's when his lawyer gets involved, and man, I dislike lawyers. Regardless of what statute he may have had prior to leaving Canada, he is a resident of Canada. No, he's not.
Bullshit.
He is not. He's an asylum seeker. He's not a resident of Canada. He was a resident of Canada and had his first blood family members in Canada, his sister and his mother. Both of them are maintaining valid legal status. He didn't. Bye-bye. There's no fucking way he accidentally crossed the border into the U.S. Fuck off. I crossed that border multiple times. Fuck off.
Yeah. You go through customs. This story's not adding up.
But here is what's beautiful here. Look at the teardrop from the woke mainstream media. His mother already has been hospitalized a few times because of depression and the mental health.
Oh, and so how much does that cost us? Right? Exactly. So they should all go then, is what you're saying. So they came here seeking asylum with all kinds of, medical issues that they need treated, that we need to pay for. Why are you seeking asylum if you're from Bangladesh? I'm sorry, but there's not a genocide going on there. There's not a civil war going on there. It's just a more or less, it's just a third world country. It's just a poor-ish country. To say that you're going to face harm for going to Bangladesh. Why? This idea that like people from these countries will face harm no, I don't accept that. That's your own country. Why would you face harm?
I completely agree. And here is another brilliant point that nobody wants to address. You stir the soul. Far as I'm concerned, he's military age male. He is combative and he's dealt with accordingly to military law. Get the fuck out of here. And Lake Time is saying, why is there only one thumbs up? I agree. Guys, if you're enjoying this show, make sure to like, make sure to share, make sure to reshare this stream. We want to hear from you. So join us on the YouTube channel at the Poly Orphans. Once you're there, dislike. You can dislike it. Tell me why you dislike it. I want to know. I like the dislikes because that means I'm doing something right. If I'm pissing off, I piss off people on the left and on the right.
Enough to make them dislike.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe and click that little bell. And again, if you want to support what we do, you want to support independent journalism, it still hurts me when I say this. It kind of hurts my soul. You can choose to become a member, $2.99 a month, right off of our YouTube membership, or you can decide to just give us a tip through Buy Me a Coffee. The QR code is like there. But yeah, that ICE thing is going viral. I saw it this morning. I'm like,
well, just what an idiot. If nothing else, we should just deport him because he's a fucking moron. You're over here. You've basically got the holy grail, right? You're here for what? Another 2 years at least until you can get your asylum claim heard. You're living high off the hog. You get free food, free board, free phone. You get some spending cash, and you still go down to the States. Like, you're an idiot then. You know, your mom's getting treatment on our dime for all her issues. I mean, I'm glad he left, but what was he even thinking? Like, you don't just accidentally end up in the United States. You go through customs. Anyone who's gone through it knows it takes a long, you have to go. It's not like you just take a left turn and, oh shit, I'm in the United States now. If it was like that, smuggling drugs would be a whole lot easier.
Here's the thing. Like, I'm just looking at this picture again because I still have it on my screen. I didn't think about that until now. This guy, in the article, it said that this guy crossed near Montreal, so probably near La Colle. There's a place that you can actually go through the woods.
Yep.
Look at this guy. This is a refugee from Bangladesh in front of what looks like the BC. Exactly my point.
Yeah, that's right.
He was right there.
So he's out traveling the country, just like going on vacations that we could only dream of. And why not? All his shit's paid for. He's got cash in his pocket. He's going on trips to the States. I mean, he looks like he's living it up there. And tell me why. Tell me why why would you face harm in Bangladesh? And I'm with Sylvie here. She said something here where I don't even care what happens to them once they return to the country. Why the hell should I care? Yeah, there's something to be said for that too. Even if you are going to be persecuted in your country, like, sucks, man, but like, that's life. It's not our problem. Very definition of not our problem. And like I said, there are like certain legitimate asylum claims that I would be prepared to accept, but none of them is going on in fucking Bangladesh right now. None of them is going on in India. Nigeria, there's a genocide going on, so I could see if someone wanted to make that case.
But you're not hearing it, right? You're not hearing about
how many Nigerians are here. Yeah, how many Nigerians are here seeking asylum? Probably a dozen, maybe. It ain't the Nigerians. Yeah,
because they actually cannot afford to get here because they're getting killed.
Yes. And that's the thing, is a lot of these are like, middle class Indians. Like, they are at least people who can afford the plane ticket. And they're just coming over here and just living high on the hog on all the benefits. Your
fucking expressions, living high on the hog. I've never heard that one before. God damn.
Kenzie says there are tons of Nigerians in Canada. Oh, sure there are. How many are asylum, seeking asylum? Not that they don't exist, but as a percentage of that 250, it's not going to be even close. It might be
it's in the 1-digit percentages. Yeah. Like, I've looked into it. I have the numbers somewhere. So here is, oh shit, that's another great. It depends which type of Nigerians.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah,
the
yeah. I mean,
Nigerian that
don't
are
get me
getting
wrong.
prosecuted, or
Well,
the
if you-
Nigerian that would most likely be
be
suspects
doing
in the church burning?
because there's Nigerians
Oof.
doing the genocide as well, right? So, but I'm assuming, like, obviously implied in me saying that I would consider claims is you would have to be a Christian Nigerian to be at risk of
That's so
being
racist.
genocided.
That's so
Yeah.
racist. This is Islamophobic. What you're saying there,
That's
it's definitely anti-Semite and Islamophobic to say that a religion should give preferential treatment to people, bro. Can't
only
do
when
that.
it's only when it's like
Only
the
when it's
Christian-
about women with
Yeah.
penises. It's
Yeah,
the only
that's
time that
right.
it matters.
That's right.
Let's take a few minutes to talk about this. Yesterday I was talking about the Kelowna BC airport that got hacked with those pro-Hamas. I'll just cut the sound because it sounds brutal, but remember we talked about this yesterday, and I started digging a bit more today. I started looking into it, and I found an article on the Epoch Times that states that it's not only one that was hacked, but it was three. There was another international airport in Victoria, BC that was hacked, and another one in Windsor, Ontario. Same type of attacks. They took over the PA audio system and they broadcasted that bullshit that video was showing. But what I found to be interesting is if you start looking in the article here, they start referencing these guys here. So hold on. Here we go. So BC Conservative MLA Harman Bangu said the incident shows the need for more robust cybersecurity measures and stronger punishment for those who support terrorist groups. And former independent MP Kevin Vlong also weighed on the incident on Next, saying that this is a national security threat. What is the bill that the Liberals are trying to push right now called Bill C-8 that's being attacked left, right, and center, that they're facing so much pushback because they're calling it a Cyber Security Protection Act when they're trying to amend the Telecommunication Act in order to give power to the Minister of Industry to be able to remove anybody from the internet that they see fit without further explanation, just because they can. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we did a deep dive with John Carpe from the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom on Bill C-8. But do you think it's a coincidence that Bill C-8 is getting a bunch of pushback and it's literally about cybersecurity? Now we have a cybersecurity attack where politicians are asking for more cyber security protection. And it turns out that this is not a new thing. I saw an article here on Blacklocks. I gotta love Blacklocks, always have great articles. But here's Blacklocks, what they were saying this morning. Ask MPs to permit digital IDs. Canada's airport are petitioning the Common Finance Committee to introduce digital identification for domestic travelers. So here we go again with digital ID, and it turns out that this is not a new thing. In early October 2025, the Canadian Airport Council and the National Airline Council of Canada released a report calling for regulations to enable facial recognition and digital ID systems across major airports, arguing it would enhance efficiency and security while addressing privacy concerns. So Bill C-8 is being pushed by the Liberals. They're getting a shit ton of pushback because of the amendments that they're trying to do to the Telecommunication Act, which would literally give the power to our government to censor us online by removing our internet access through our internet service providers. They're getting pushback. Now there's a non-violent threat to our cyber security, which are airports, which are managed by our federal government. You already have some MPs or some MLAs that are calling for more cyber securities, and one of them was a conservative, so it has nothing to do with being a liberal. And now we learned that the Canadian Council The Canadian Airport Council and National Airline Council of Canada have been requesting since the beginning of the month to implement digital ID system with facial recognition across major airport because it would somehow enhance security while addressing privacy concerns. What's going on in the UK? They're talking about digital ID. Bro, it's happening everywhere.
Honestly,
mass immigration. Hey, we're going to import a bunch of people you don't like that don't conform to our culture, piss people off to a point that we're going to sell them the solution that you do need a digital ID because
I don't
if they're
understand
illegal,
that.
if they're illegal, they wouldn't be able to get a digital ID because in order to get a digital ID, you need to prove ID. So digital ID is useless because you're
certainly,
my government issued ID.
The problem here in Canada is it's all legal. It's all it's all legal immigration. That's the issue. It isn't really the illegal ones. So digital ID is not going to help that. You know what would help is just fixing your immigration problems. They act like there's some supernatural force forcing us to open our borders, and there's just nothing we can do about it. But we signed the treaty of okay, so fucking unsign it. Rip up that treaty. You know what I mean? Like it's a piece of paper. We signed the treaty in 1987. Well, I don't give a shit. Unsign it. Rip it up. Like, do we not have that power? Do we not have the power to take ourselves out of these agreements? And if we don't, then that's an excellent argument for never, ever, ever entering into any international agreement if we cannot leave them if we want to.
But do you see that when you start looking and start researching, you can see little dots that connects? This is not a coincidence.
Well, with digital ID, I definitely do. I certainly do. Like, honestly, that's the biggest, when the whole digital ID thing started to come, when the media started to talk about it, and we started talking about it a couple months back, at first I was kind of like, we already have ID. This is just digital. I didn't really see it as a big issue. But the thing that's really making me very skeptical is the way it's now just being pushed from all these corners all at the same time. And it's if you listen to them, the media and governments, it's going to be the cure for everything. And I'm just like, why are you pushing this so hard? Why are you telling me it's going to cure cancer and cure the immigration problems and cure unemployment and it's going to cure inflation? It's going to cure everything. No, it's not going to do that. But it makes me suspicious that you're pushing because it actually feels like they're like, okay, well, stopping illegal immigration didn't work. Okay, scratch that. Let's try cybersecurity. Yeah, we'll tell them that. See if that'll work. Oh no, that didn't work. Okay, let's tell them. You know what I mean? They're just going down the list.
Here is the perfect fucking comment, Rusty Ween.
Yeah.
You have one of the best fucking name online, but this comment, if it was incompetence, it wouldn't be so consistent. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
so,
bang on. That is brilliant because it is very consistent.
I don't know. I don't feel that's directly directed at me, but it could be because if you've been watching the show for a while.
That was just a good comment to say.
It is a good comment.
I connect the dots, but the average person is going to look at me and say, well, you're fucking crazy. You see conspiracies everywhere. I literally backtracked. I literally showed you how it's not really a conspiracy. The dots are there. You just need to follow them. But what he says, it's absolutely true. And that's what I believe too. It's not incompetence. This is planned because it's too consistent and it's happening. Just like you said, mass immigration since 2020 has been happening all over the West. Now, what are you hearing all over the West? Let's implement digital ID so that we can save you from immigration. Hey, asshole, you created the problem to sell me a solution. No, thank you. You can shove it up your digital ass.
And it's like, even if I can't necessarily see exactly what you're planning to do with digital ID, like I can't, it isn't explicitly obvious to me why it's bad. Just the fact that you're all pushing this at the exact same time and doing everything you can to implement it leads me to believe that it's bad. I don't even need to know exactly how. I just know it's bad. And it's what coffee cup is that?
Hey Nico, where can get that coffee cup? I'm
not
sure. Are you talking about buying us? Cup? Oh yes, Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
Oh, that's the worst part, man. I have so many gear design. I just need to interconnect to sit down and take the few hours to connect it to the YouTube channel. But let me ask you guys, the guys that are there, the regulars, would you actually buy some political orphan gear? Because I have it all designed. Like it's all there. I just need to take the time to connect it. So
Rusty Wiener says, thank you. It's pronounced Weiner, though. The kids at school are very mean. If you don't mind, if you're not too traumatized, I'd like to keep calling you Rusty Wiener.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm the one with the microphone, and I'm calling you Rusty Wiener.
Rusty
And the
Wiener.
one, and what's awesome is that if you put it back, the one's like an erected penis. So it's like Rusty Wiener. Hey.
It just works so much better than Rusty Weiner. Yep. It's not the same.
Oh no, sorry, bro. Looking at that picture, that dude, whoever that is, has a Rusty Wiener.
That's Rusty Wiener right there. Easter of the Soul. It's the old military saying: once as an accident, twice as enemy action. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of, you know, as I think it was Trevor Benson here. He said. He was talking about immigration was, you know, mass immigration was going on since, you know, for 20 years. And you can definitely see it trend up over the last 20 years. But if you look at the charts, you'll see a significant, even beyond the uptrend, like it's going up and up and up for 15 years, but then just shoots way up in 2020. And every single country in the West does this: Canada, US, UK, America, France, Germany. And it's just, you know, we've sort of noticed that and pointed that out on the show several times. And it's kind of like, why did this happen? Like, why did this all happen at the exact same time? No one ran an election on it. There was no public buy-in. And yet, without ever talking about it in public, all these countries did the exact same thing at the exact same time. And it's just, again, it's just too much to believe that it's accidental. And then you see it with this digital ID thing. It gives you the impression, it's almost impossible not to get the impression that there's some secret club that they're all meeting at and they're just getting orders from people. And I know that people say, oh, it's the WEF. And
or the Bilderbergs. The Bilderbergs, the Bilderbergs. No, but if you look at the Bilderberg that just happened 2 or 3 months ago, Chrystia Freeland was there. So was our finance minister. They were both there. You can still go to their website right now and look at the convention 2025. Look at what they talked about. And one of the main points that they talked about is mass immigration and depopulation. So that's not a conspiracy theory. It's right on their website. And the Bilderbergs is what they do. They have some of the most powerful people on the planet, big tech leaders that show up there to discuss world events. People that have the power to shape the world meet up to talk about shaping the world.
Well, yeah. And I mean, Chris H says Peter Mansbridge used to go to Bilderberg also. Yeah, well, Peter Mansbridge was a highly respected news anchor at a time when news anchors had a ton of influence. So if you were, you know, a nefarious group dedicated to changing, you know, shaping the world, you probably would target people like Peter Mansbridge.
I know a few people, I spoke to a few whistleblowers, and there's some of the names that has been to Bohemian Grove that I'm not going to repeat because
what is Bohemian Grove?
Do you remember what's the name of the massive conspiracy theorist? He has the beard, he's bald now. Motherfucker, you know who I'm talking about. He always he has a very rogue voice now, and he's never 50%. It's always 100%. Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So I started watching Alex Jones in like 1999, 2000s-ish. I'd have to look at the actual date, but it's somewhere like 20 years ago when he introduced us to a place in the US called Bohemian Grove, where the most affluent people in the US and the world show up. They wear robes and they pray to a massive owl. This is not even a joke. You can still just really? Google Bohemian. This is not a conspiracy theory. This has been known for more than 2 decades. Alex Jones got famous exposing them, and who's who has been there. And this has nothing to do with politics, left, right, Doesn't matter. I've heard of some names that I don't want to repeat that have been there. And bro, it's once you go there, you're part
Owl of
of a club.
Minerva.
I wouldn't be surprised that that's what it is. Yeah,
I've
but
heard of that term. I've heard the Owl of Minerva.
Bohemian
It'd be funny
Grove.
if these rich people were just, it was all just one giant troll, and they're just doing it because they know all the peasants will be freaked out. They're like, hey, let's get together and pretend to worship an owl.
Do you see
It'd
this?
be funny if they. Wow, yeah, this is Jesus.
So this is a video. If I'm not mistaken, this is part of the video that was taken by Alex Jones back in the days where, and this is what people are talking about. You clearly see that there's Nixon right here, and there's shit. What's his name?
Oh shit! Is that Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan. Oh yeah, bro. And it's been going on for fucking ever. But yeah, can you
Wow.
imagine? You've never heard of Bohemian Grove?
No, this is wild.
Oh, bro, man, Alex. We're gonna finish on that because we're going over right now.
Yeah,
Alex
it involves
Jones
burning
literally-
an effigy before a 40-foot stone owl. Man, these guys are like.
So
actually,
if you look there, there's a representation of a person being burnt alive. I'm not saying that there was, but there's an effigy, right? So see, man, I was bang on 2000s. This
Okay.
is when I believe that Alex Jones released his first. That's how I got to know him. Is really when he did his first video of inside Bohemian Grove, and it was literally, bro, camcorder with the cassette, like grainy as shit back in the days where you had to worry about having cassettes in your pocket.
yeah, wow, yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, no, I've never really heard of this, but yeah, no, I mean,
You're welcome.
this is crazy. They actually, man, what fucking actually burning an effigy to a
Mock
40-foot
sacrifice.
stone owl?
Yeah, man.
This is crazy. Wow.
Yeah, and
Wild.
Bohemian Grove is a 2,700 acre compound or campground, sorry, in Monterey, California. 2,700 acres. So that is not small, man. That is a big
Yeah, like
piece of property.
what was Harper going on? Like, because I don't think. I'm sure Harper, like, he's obviously a powerful person. I'm sure he's probably involved in some sketchy shit, but like that doesn't seem like his thing. Sylvie, yeah, you're damn right. Sylvie says Rob planned a trip to be. I'd love to go there. See this giant owl.
Just look at the when the minister got sworn in. When the king was here, they were sworn in. They swore allegiance to the king. But do you remember that Justin Trudeau and Harper were sitting right next to each other, and they were literally harping? What a good choice of word. But they were
they were harping and Trudeauing.
And the same thing with Obama and Trump in the US.
Trump. Oh yeah.
Do you remember buddies. They're sitting next to each other and they're all. It's slapping all back. A game. They're all playing us. It's WWE for adults.
Yep.
Yes. Politics is WWE for adults. So here's the reality. Shall we call it a day?
Yes. We've got a few minutes over. Guys, we're going to put a pin right there.
Thanks for going down that rabbit hole. I don't know how we ended up to fucking Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. If we're not on the next show, we didn't commit suicide.
I swear that I'm sound of mind. As sound of mind as I can be.
Sound mind. I'm not suicidal. Guys, if you are, it's an excellent show tonight as usual. Lots of audience engagement, guys. If you'd like to support the show, please consider becoming a member for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can do that through YouTube. You can also consider buying us a coffee in one of these two corners up here. It is it's a QR code, so you can support the show in that way. But the biggest thing is just come back, send us your comments. As you can see, especially if you're just tuning in for the first time, the show is heavily based on audience participation, and that's another way you can support us is just keep coming back, keep commenting. Other than that, are you on for the the mashup on Saturday?
Yes, sir. We have a mashup this Saturday, and I gotta tell you, this could be massive.
A big one?
Massive. Yeah. It would be if you are involved in the Freedom Convoy and you want to know more about what happened, what might happen, what's going
Ooh,
on.
that's interesting.
I'm just saying, we are working on some big names.
Bristol says, I'm out. Have to go pray to my owl. Yeah, I've got to go burn a effigy to my 40-foot stone owl out in the backyard there.
But yeah, guys, if you want to join the mashup that Jason Levine and I have on Saturdays, it's 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. We're always the two of us, and we have 4 guests. Rob's been there before. It's
might be
very interesting. We had a really deep dive into the ostrich farm a couple of weeks ago, which was really cool.
Numbers.
Yeah, and yeah, this weekend, if we have the names we're supposed to have, pow. Yeah, exactly.
It's been a hoot.
It's been a hoot indeed. So we'll see you Saturday.
Yep. Peace. And then we're back with the Orphans on Sunday night.